This is for sure. So we need space to store the products in our kitchen, and it is also going together with the consumer society that we are all living in. So we buy things and we store them in-house. We don't go to the shop every day. We go maybe once a week, bring home, and we need to store it somewhere. So this is all the reasons that we are driving the design of the cabinet and the design of the inside of the cabinet, which is very important to the industry, but must be made in a sustainable way. So the industry, as I said before, must understand that all these changes are applicable and sustainable for their business. This is a key word. So this is the reason, but there is another reason also why all this was supported and get such a strong push. As I said, in the mid-90s, the European kitchen industry found itself in a kind of let's say, that point. They were looking how to move forward, and many of them were on the brink of the collapse or the bankruptcy. So why was that? Because not bringing the change innovation to the industry for some time, they come to the point that let's say just to make a carton box, chipboard box. Take the chipboard, a nice piece of chipboard, they cut it, make the edge banding, put it together. They were not able to make enough value added to the product, so their profits went down. Okay, so this is an example of a typical cost. Just take the cost as just an example. That let's say 80% of the cost of the carcass was just of the cabinet was the carcass. Frontal, the doors, 12, fittings, some 9%. So that was not enough for the industry to survive. They needed something new. So they called the designers, they called the engineers, and they called the new product to come in to save the industry. So, and that's at the end what it comes out. And it is coming to, let's say, to the product that has much more value, and it gives the benefits to everybody. It gives the benefits to the end user because it gives the solutions, let's say, the ergonomy to the end customer to better use a kitchen, which is a workshop at home. It's a working environment. It's not a piece of a design in a corner, which it's nice to look at, but you need to work with it every day. And on the other side, it gives also to the manufacturer, to the kitchen manufacturer, the opportunity to bring up his added value, his value to the whole process. It's not just panel, which is very important in a key product, but must give it some more. So that's how the fittings came in and gave a new life to the kitchen industry in the late 90s, beginning 2000 in Europe. So all this then resulted in various solutions. It is not only just the fittings itself, it's also the interior of the cabinet. So the hinges coming from cross base plate to the linear base plate to have a nice and a neat look. The 3mm drilling on the side replaces the old 5mm, so it means that the holes are less visible. So nicer look again. So that's a matter of a design. So no system drilling. We all know the cabinets that have the drilling, let's say, on both sides. So that, let's say, were very practical, but from the design point of view, look point of view, are not really nice. And this was a main change, that all this, the main difference that, let's say, the industry came and understood at some point. It is that they understood they needed to pass from design for manufacture, where design for manufacture means that they design the cabinets to fit better and best to the industry as a production, to the process in the industry, in the factory. So they changed that and coming to manufacture for design. So they made the design first, they're thinking of the design first, and then the factory, the process in the furniture industry need to adopt, to be flexible, to follow the design. So that is a big change, and that's how also those 21 cabinets became 400 cabinets. For sure, it also helps that the whole industry and technology evolved and made better machines, made the machines that give you back more flexible, faster, cheaper changes so that you can respond to those demands. And yes, obviously all the packages, and let's say in Europe for some time already, are all prepared, assembled, fitted in the factory. So when they come to the end user in your kitchen, they bring it, you just install it. It's very fast, easy, and no problems with the potential claims of broken part or something, because everything is assembled in the best environment, most controlled environment, and that is in the factory. So, in short, the summary. So, design the carcass as a consequence of the range content. That is what the kitchen industry understood and came to quite some years ago. So, not start from what our machines in the factory can do, but how our machines can make what we design. So, factory fitted, assemble everything. So, everything fitted in the factory. So, maximize the space that we all need. We all always need more space than we actually have. So that's always helpful. So minimize components. So have as less components as possible. So this is the smart thing, the clever thing about designing and thinking of the whole context, bringing together in a nice, let's say, standardized way. Stock holding. So to have, you can understand, and I'm speaking from the industrial point of view. So we can let's say, prepare the nice range, but we must be made in a clever way that also the stock, the inventories that we need to, let's say, to support and let's say work with all those combinations must be as low as possible, to be sustainable, to last in time, to discuss then, to see that, let's say, we spoke this morning about why some design lasts in time, so why they are so successful, because they are taught well, and that because are, let's say, give the value not just to the product, but to the end user and who makes it. So frontal systems is in sense of the doors. So there is, let's say, quite many kitchen manufacturers have quite limited number of doors, much less that you would expect in sense of the sizes and dimensions. Can be as much as 11 or as low as 11 different sizes, and that's, let's say, with the various combinations works well in the over much larger combination of the cabinets. So the cabinet range is the last thing to design. This is a strong statement, we can say, but it is very often so. You need, if at the beginning we discussed, let's say, okay, let's make for the carcass 600 wide, I don't know, 720 high, and okay, let's now look around what you can find to put inside, the drawer, the war basket, everything. It is not so for some time already. You first design what you want to do with your kitchen. So what will be the function? Who will be the market? Who will be the target user? What is their life environment? What is their habits and so on? So which segment you will call on? So then you pick the main things. So the kitchen is functional products. So you define the products, you define the fittings, and then at the end you build a carcass around it. Because today you have technology, you have machines to have it, let's say, to make it in that way. So the cabinet range is the last thing to design. Again, because we are moving from design to manufacture, so we are not making cabinets for the factory to run better, but we are, let's say, prepare and set up the factory to answer the design needs and requirements we need with our products. So, and all this looks at the custom made. So all the effect is also that when you go and buy a kitchen, it looks like that you have a custom made kitchen, but it in reality is a well thought range that is in the factory. Okay, this is what it was in the 90s. This is what it was then somewhere in the 2010. And this is what might look today a kitchen. So just before I close, just maybe a few more slides. So what Titus does in this story, okay? And what, let's say, we are, let's say, as an important hardware manufacturer and supplier to the industry. We work together, hand in hand with the industry, and we develop and we have a number of innovative things. So one of the elements that is very important is consumer assembly friendliness. I think we discussed it in the beginning this morning about how some big retailers or IKEA, how they do approach the assembly way. And this is the way how Titus proposed it. And if you can run the video for me, a short one, we'll explain you that in a minute. Just click on CAF and that logo. Does it run? Coming in a minute. Okay, thank you. So what we have here it is that so how to improve the customer experience when they assemble the cabinets. We all assemble the cabinets in our life, I think, and we know sometimes it's very easy, sometimes it gets complicated. So Titus is well known with, let's say, with this solution to make the assembly of a cabinet very friendly. So that's the main idea is about how many different products you need to assemble the cabinets, how many operations you need to let's say, use to make the assembly of a cabinet, and you get at the end, let's say, kind of a score. So you don't need to learn this, it's just to explain you the principle. So more different products, bigger number of products, and more actions to make, it makes more complicated for end user to assemble, for sure. So we can have the same solutions with a much more products or few products to get exactly the same solution. So instead of 2 products, we can use 1 product. So we need to keep it simple in assembly. So that's where also the designing of the cabinets at the very beginning makes an important role. So you can assemble a cabinet just in a classic way with the screws and everything. You can just go with a simple, very few actions. So much faster. So it means that the customer is happier, there are less chances of the claim, and so on. So it gives additional value to the customer. So these are just some examples, and there are solutions on the market available. So if you will be, or when you are approaching and discussing and designing the product, refer to your, let's say, hardware, let's say, partners. Titus is here to give the expertise and to give, let's say, to advise on some solutions which, let's say, can benefit for you and for the end customer. So there are many ways how to improve things. Doesn't need to be slow all the time. Okay. Okay. Okay, I think we can close the video. We can go back to the presentation. So, I'm in command. Okay, thank you. So that was the CAF. So when we're speaking about the CAF, so the brand new innovative product again, full metal connector. Let's say it using the expander technology for multi-material, for the chipboard, for the MDF, and for the solid wood. So finally we brought to the market a product that let's say works in all these materials. Again, hinges with a 3-way clip-on, confident close, soft closing, tolerant, damping, and let's say with a very strong, let's say, characteristics, and a confident close with a soft landing. Drawer line with a nice design, and that's from my side. So all these products, let's say, are these solutions available working together with the Star with the market. So thank you for your attention.
Evet, teşekkür ediyoruz Deyan Kocevar beyefendiye. Şimdi yerel dinamiklerle uluslararası tasarım konulu Rianno Kunz ve Alberto Basaglia'yı davet edeceğim. Moderatörümüz de öğretim görevlimiz Levent Burgaz'dı. Alkışlarınızla sahneye davet ediyorum.
Would you mind? Okay, Ms. Coens, would you mind start?
This one, wrong.
Okay, you may start. Okay.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. Thank you for staying after lunch. I would like to start. No? Let me check. Here we are. So, hello, good afternoon. Thank you very much for staying. Welcome to the presentation of Auteur Design. My name is Rianne Koens. I'm the designer and the owner of this brand called Auteur Design. And I did my studies in the Netherlands. It was at the Design Academy Eindhoven. It's one of the there's 5th design academies in the world. I graduated cum laude in 2011. After a couple of months, I launched my design label called Auteur, and since then I run this design company and work for several brands. Really? Is this really how a designer has to introduce himself? I mean, showing off, presenting, glasses, hat. Is that what design is about? No, I don't think so. I think that design nowadays is about the creation and not about the creator. So with all my respect to the organization here, I'm very sorry, but I am design? I am not. I am not design. I create design. It's about collaborating. It's about bringing good products into the world to make a better world. So let me start over. Hello, good afternoon. girl, grew up in Holland, did this design academy, worked my ass off for 4 years. Then I fell in love with that guy. And now, I hope not to disappoint you, but like running a design company is half of my job, and taking care of that little boy is the other half of the week. So that's who I am. And now telling you about this design label, I can explain you everything about the successes and the products I made. But as I understood, there had to be many students in here. How many students do we have still? Thank you. Oh, okay, many. Okay, good. So what I thought, I have some sound here. Is it on? Okay. I would rather like to present you and take you through the journey of the mistakes what I made. Because running this company, I am learning every single day. And who am I to keep this knowledge for myself? So I would like to bring you through my experiences and share my mistakes with you. Now I will bring you back to the 2011 where I had this two design that one is not going, that one is. Back to graduation projects which I had. The last one is Peel Pride. It's a product you can create herbs from fruit peels, and the other one is a cabinet consists of different pieces on top of each other, and you can create stools for your guests. Now, this product got very much attention, got awarded, so I thought, hey, that's a nice start of my career, right? Now, 6 years later, and I will show you what it does in the background, so if you can press on play, please. There's some music, so be careful. Just on the screen. Thank you. 6 years later, we are now, and this product is still not on the market. And now I'm curious. You see this running behind me. It's a peel you can peel off. You dry it, you put it in this design I made, you grind it, and then you have a herb woof thing. Who has an idea why this product is still not on the market? Can I see someone? Any ideas? No idea? Ben Türkçe sorayım o zaman. Hızlıca çevireyim kendimi. Bu ürün ödül aldı, dergilere çıktı ama hala market bulamıyor, yani piyasada yok. Firmalarla görüştüm, fiyat gayet uygun çıktı, üretilecek bir üründe ama hala yok. Yani fikriniz var mı? Neden yok? Hala Türkçem o kadar mı bozuk diye anlatırım o zaman. Biraz daha Türkçe devam edeyim o zaman. Yani gördüğünüz gibi bu ürünün açıklamak, nasıl kullanmanı gerektiğini açıklamak 1 dakikadan fazla sürdü. Ve biz alan kişiler bizim sadece 1 saniyemiz var. So we only have 1 second in the shops to understand a product and to buy it. And for that reason, although this was a new ritual and it really was appreciated, it's still not on the market. That was the first lesson I had. Now, I had a little the same problem with my other product, which was also appreciated very well. The fact that a cabinet by then in 2011 could consist of different pieces stacked on top of each other was already new, that the extra stool function was a step too much. So I took a step back. I took off the extra function of the legs, and I created a cabinet, I'm sorry, which you can stack on top of each other as you saw in the other slides. Now, the other lesson I really want to learn you is that you are so super lucky being in Turkey. Because me, by then, in Holland, willing to produce this piece was almost impossible. I had to fly to Portugal to find a carpenter who could produce this for me. I did, reproduced, and we create our first piece of the collection from Otura. Quite successful story so far, right? Second order. I didn't go back to Portugal to check the second order. I mean, the first order they had perfectly by then, so why should I check the second order? Second lesson, you cannot produce anything if you don't control it, by yourself or by someone else. So for me, it was one more reason to come to Turkey. And nowadays, I can use all the beauty of here. I can be close to the carpenters. I can get inspiration from the culture, and I can collaborate. I will show you some examples. Just one thing. When I did the first one in Inago, where I was not so close by then as well, the first order was not working out as well. This was the comment I got. So that was my, yeah, you can read it. So I called them and I said, Marianne, o kadar da ince bakmayın lütfen yani. So